Hello everyone, hope you all are doing great. And today we are going to be looking at this another very popular interview question: best time to buy and sell stocks. Okay, so first of all, let me show you this is a really popular question. It's been asked in the last 6 months in several companies, not only FAANG but several other. So basically Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Google, Morgan Stanley, PayPal, so there are like a lot of big players here who are asking this question. So that means this question is sort of sort of important, and it can show up in your interview. So it's good to take a look, and this gives you like a really good technique for the technique that actually that you learn after solving this problem is basically how to keep the current maximum and minimum values and how to compare those. Okay, so that's the hint right there, how to solve the problem itself. But let's go ahead and read the problem itself now. So basically, the problem itself states that you have an array with like you know price inside the array. So it's an array of prices of a stock. So there is a stock, and there's prices listed here, and you're only permitted. So if you're only permitted to complete at most one transaction, so that is you can either buy or sell one stock, right? And if you were to permit only one operation, you need to design an algorithm to basically find maximum profit. That means in a day you can perform only one operation, so you can either buy or sell. And if you take a look at this example right here, it says seven. The input is 715364, right? So if you buy a stock at $7, you cannot sell it on the same day. You have to wait for next day to sell it. Now, what we need to find out is we need to find the best time to buy and sell to basically get the maximum profit out of it. So this question states the best time to buy and sell, but really essentially what they're asking is a maximum profit. So maximum profit is basically the maximum value that you can compute after traversing the array. So it's very similar to finding the max element, okay, with some tricks and some conditionals that you have to put in place. All right, so for example, let's take a look at this input 715364, right? So you're gonna go if you linearly search, if you put a search on this and traverse this array, you're gonna go 7. That's uh, your price for the stock, $7. So if you were to buy the stock at $1, which is next day, day 2, right? You cannot sell right there, or you can continue forward. You can basically check if you're gonna get any maximum profit out of 1 and 5. So it's just $4 of profit. Okay, so that's your current maximum. Now you traverse again, you see, okay, 3 and 1. Okay, so that's $2 profit, but you're getting 4 here. So 4 is your maximum profit right there. You continue forward, you reach 6. Okay, 6 minus 1 is $5. So you're getting $5 profit right here between if you buy on the second day and sell it on 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth day, right? So you're at $5 profit, and then 4. So 5 is your maximum profit that you're getting from this, right? So if you read the description explanation, it says buy on day 2, which is when the price is $1, sell on day 5, which is 6, then profit is going to be 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. That's your maximum profit. Now it's not going to be 7 minus 1 because you're buying before you're selling, right? So your day 1, when the price was 7, that day was already gone. If you had bought, like, at $7, then you will not be able to get maximum profit because prices were never more than $7. So that's not the good strategy. So you're gonna move to next day, which is one. Now previous day is already gone, so it's not gonna be considered. So when you're traversing the array, you're only gonna traverse forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this with an example on the whiteboard and see if we can um, get the get this in a table. Like, so we're gonna put your items or your values in the table and see. Okay, let me tap this and remove this guy right there. Okay. All right, so we're gonna create a table and we're gonna see how we can what are the values that we are getting when we are progressing through the array. So our array input is 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4. Okay, so we have current element, so current index I. So let's index this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, this is an array. Okay, your array at ith, that means your exact price on that day for that stock, right? Then your minimum value, the minimum that you have found. Okay, and your profit that you have found. Okay, with that, let's go. When I value is I is pointing at 0, your value is 7. Minimum initially when you're gonna create is gonna be int dot max. Okay, and profit is going to be 0. So is minimum basically greater than the current element. So we're gonna say minimum int dot max is greater than the current element. Yes, it is. So 7 should be the minimum, right? So we're gonna put 7 as a minimum. Now for the profit, we're gonna say take the current price, right, and subtract it with the minimum, and whatever you get is your profit. So 7 is our minimum and 7 is our current price, so the profit is going to be 0. I moves to 1. Okay, the value becomes 1 for the array of I, and minimum, so 1 is smaller than 7, so minimum value that we have encountered so far is going to be 1. Okay, so we're going to say our current price is 1, minimum value so far we have found is 1, so the difference is 0. Okay, so the profit is still 0. Okay, let's move on. You have 5. Oh, sorry, you have index 2. So index 2 and 5 is your array value, and your minimum is 1 now, right? And 1 is not smaller than 5, so that means your minimum stays there, and you say your current price is 5 minus 1, which is your minimum. This becomes 4. Now this is our profit right now, so our profit now is 4. Our maximum profit is 4 so far. Okay, I's value increased to 3. The price itself is 3. Minimum is still 1 because 3 is not smaller than 1, so we're not going to reset that. So 3 minus 1 will become 2. Now we're not going to update our profit right here because our max profit we have found is 4. So this has become our max profit so far that we have found. Now next element is 4, I value 4, price is 6, minimum is still 1, so 6 minus 1 is gonna be 5. Now 5 is basically more than the current profit, which was 4. So we're gonna say our max profit now is 5. Okay, so I moves on to 5, which is 4 in price. Minimum is still 1. So we're gonna say 5 minus 1 is 4, which is not greater than 5. So our max profit is 5. So 5 is our answer in this case, right? So that actually is in the tabular form. When you are going to traverse through the algorithm, you're going to basically compute the minimum you need so you can calculate the max profit out of your given input. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the algorithm itself. So we're going to create a function, right? Buy and sell, which is going to be an array of integer values, and this is going to return an integer, the max profit. Okay, we're going to first check if our array dot count is greater than 0. Okay, so if array dot count is not greater than 0, right, we want to return 0. That's our base condition. Then we're going to create some variables. So we're going to create a variable for min value, which is going to be initialized to int dot max. Okay, we're going to create a variable for our profit, which is going to be 0. Right, now we're going to loop on our array. So for I in array, okay, and we're gonna check. So we're gonna say if the min value is less than, or if the min value is greater than, right? So min value should not be greater than the current price, which is I. If min value is greater than I, then min value should be updated with I, which is current price. Okay, else if we want to compute the profit now, so we want to say profit is less than the current price, which is I, minus your minimum value that we have found so far. So if your profit is lower than current price minus minimum, that means you have a new profit. So you should update your profit to I minus min value. Okay, and you're gonna let your loop run, and at the end you're gonna return the profit. Okay, so basically what you're returning is the maximum profit that you have found. Now if you once again take your example, so our example is right here, so we're gonna see, so we're gonna run through this, and we're gonna say first the I value is 7, right, and the minimum value that we have computed is int dot max. Okay, so 7 is definitely smaller than int dot max, so I value becomes basically, let's take a different color, so I value minimum value becomes 7. Okay, and profit is still 0, so basically here min becomes 7. Okay, and your profit is, which is 0, is smaller than, so I value is 7 minus the minimum value is 7. So 7 minus 7 is 0. So 0 is not less than 0. So we're just going to continue forward. So there is no change, or the only change is our minimum value has become 7 now. Okay. All right. So next item is 1. So we got 1 in I. Okay. And we're going to say, is 1 smaller than 7? So yes, it is. So our minimum value is 7, and 7 is greater than 1. So we're going to update minimum to 1. Okay. So we're going to compute the profit as well. So we're going to say a profit once again is 0, and I value is 1, minimum value is 1. So 0 and 0 is less than 0. No. So our profit stays 0. Okay. So this changes to 1. So minimum value now is 1. Okay. Next item is 5. So I becomes 5. Okay. And minimum value, which is currently at 1, is it greater than 5? No, it's not. Okay. So we are not going to go inside. We're not going to go in this. So this guy right here, this line is not going to get executed. Okay. So we're going to check the profit. So profit is less than, so profit is 0, is less than the current value. So let's see. Okay, so let me write this again. I is I minus min value. Okay, so I is what, 5, right? Minus minimum value is 1, so this becomes 4. Okay, so finally our profit is updating, so profit becomes 4. Okay, now let me clear this. Okay, all right, so now we are at 3, so value of I becomes 3. Okay, so our minimum is 1. 1 is greater than 3. No, it's not. So minimum value stays at 1. Right, profit value is now, so let me clear this as well just to avoid any confusion. So profit currently is 4, right? Ith value is 3, and minimum value is 1, which is 2. So 4 is not smaller than 2, so we are gonna continue. So our current profit is 4. Okay, now I becomes 6. Okay, minimum value is still 1, right? 1 is greater than 6. No, it's not. Okay, so minimum value stays there. Profit is 4. Is it less than the current I, which is 6, minus the minimum value, which is 1, so 5. So 4 is definitely less than 5. So we update the profit. So we say profit is 5 now. Okay. All right. So we end that loop and we continue forward to next and last element, which is 4. So ith value is 4. Okay, and is minimum is 1. 1 is greater than 4. Okay, it's not, so minimum stays. Profit is right now at 5. Is it smaller than 4 minus 1? So if 5 is smaller than 3, it's not, so our profit stays. That was the last statement, so our profit is 5, and that's what we return right here as an output for this function. Okay, so our algorithm seems to be working against all these conditions. So let's go ahead and try this out in Xcode and see if we can make it work for other input as well. Okay, All right, so here's what I have. And okay, so I've already created a function and I have two input values right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like write type out our algorithm, and we're gonna see if the results match what we have in the problem statement. Okay, so we're gonna say first we're gonna check if array dot count is less than equal to 0. If it is, then we're gonna return 0, right? Because if there is nothing in the array, then we don't wanna just continue forward. Okay. If array has some values, then we're gonna move forward. We're gonna create a variable for min value. Okay, we're gonna initialize it with int.max. All right, and we're gonna also create a profit value, which is gonna be initialized with 0. Then we're gonna loop, and we can say price in array, right? We're gonna say if the minimum value is greater than price, the current price that we are iterating over. Okay, so if the minimum value is greater than the current price, then we want to update the minimum value to current price, because that should be the minimum. Otherwise, we want to check if the profit is less than price minus minimum value. Okay, if the profit is, then we are going to say profit, because we want to find maximum profit, right? So we're going to say simply price minus minimum value becomes our new profit, and we return the profit right there. So we want else if, actually. Okay, so this is it. Basically, this is all we need to check. We need to make sure that if the profit is smaller than the maximum profit that we have found so far, then we want to update our profit and then run. So let me go ahead and execute this, and we're gonna see if we get, so maximum profit for the first input we get 5. So if you take a look, it's 7. That day is already gone. We buy it at second day for $1. Then we can sell it at $5. We get the profit as 4. We sell it at 3, price at 3, then we get the profit of $2. We sell it at 6, we get the profit of $5, which is the maximum, and 4 is 3, so we've already found the maximum profit, which is 5, so that's good. Now if you take the other input, if you notice all the values are decreasing, that means there is not even one day where we are getting the profit, so maximum profit stays 0. Okay, now for Swift, you can optimize this further for not for the time complexity, because time complexity is still going to be O of n, because we still need to iterate through the array, but it can be simplified in the way we are writing these if-else conditions. So all we need is another variable, so we're gonna say maximum profit is 0. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna return the max profit. Okay, and we're gonna take all these out. We're gonna say min value is minimum of min value and price. That's gonna be basically updating the minimum value first, then we're gonna compute the profit. You're gonna say profit should be the price minus min value. Okay, and max profit will become the max of max profit and profit that we have computed right here. So basically maximum of any of these two is gonna give you the result. Okay, So if you notice, we have the same value or the same results back. So for the first one, the max profit is going to be 5, and the second one is going to be 0. Alright, so if you notice, we can further optimize this. We really don't need this profit value right here. We can actually remove this guy right here, and we can say it's basically the price minus min value, because we are already computing that. Okay. Alright, so let me go ahead and run this, and we should still get the same value. Okay, awesome. So let me change this to or basically let's go ahead and take this and put it in LeetCode, and we're gonna see if our solution actually works for LeetCode or not. We might have to change the name of the array because they're calling it prices, so let's call this prices right there, and prices and price. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this, and okay, so our submission is accepted. So let's go ahead and submit, and there we go. So we got 28 millisecond. That's actually pretty good, and our test case passed. Okay, so that's the solution that we have basically come up, and as you can see, it's a really simple algorithm if you basically understand the question. It's all about, like, understanding and finding out. So it's basically essentially just finding out the maximum value or maximum current profit, maximum running value for a given input. Okay. Alright, so this is it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you found this useful, and please subscribe to the channel for more LeetCode questions, and thanks again.